So we're continuing now with lesson 16 of our step-by-step tutorial, and now let's go and define required value rules for all of the other controls on the form here. So let's go back to design mode now, and then go back to our controls, and then go to contact name, and then click on validation rules, then click on the smart field, and then go here and type in name is required. Then go ahead and do the same thing for company name. Click on validation rules, click on enable rules, require, and then go here and say name is required, and then do the same for address, city and country. So let's go ahead now to address and define the rule for address, and I'll just type in required. Do the same for city and go to validation rules, required, and then go to country, and again go to validation rules and go here and type in required. Now recall that we're doing this because we don't want to get back an unfriendly error from the server when we do a commit. We'd like to trap the error before we even try to submit the data to the server, so that we can handle it in a more graceful manner and show the user a friendly error directly next to the control that is required. So let's go ahead now and test this out. So we'll go over to working preview, and again click on the slide-in menu, click on new customer, and now we're going to make an intentional error here. We're going to go in, and in the customer ID field we're going to type in ALFKI. So that is the ID of an existing customer. So this should be an error, because if we were to enter this, we'd end up with a duplicate primary key. So we'll go here and we'll type in, say, Jim Smith, and then we'll go there and type in, say, Alpha, and 123 Main Street, and then Boston, USA, and then we'll hit the submit button, and you can see that we get an error, and the error is telling us that the record was rejected because it would create a duplicate value for the primary key. So we knew this was going to happen because we intentionally typed in the value of ALF key over here, which we knew was a duplicate key. So let's go back now and see how we can make a more sophisticated validation rule to check for duplicate primary key values before the user hits the submit button, before the data gets submitted to the server. So we'll go back to design mode now and go back to the customer ID field, and then bring up validation rules. And now we can see that one of the validation rules is something called cross-file validation. So we want to basically do a cross-file validation against a SQL database. So that's going to use alpha DAO, which stands for Alpha Data Access Objects. We want to use the saved connection string, and the connection string that we have that connects to the Northwind database is in fact called Northwind. We want to do a validation against the customer table, the customers table, so we'll go ahead there and choose customers. The field we'd like to validate against is the customer ID field, and we're going to say must not exist. In other words, we're checking to see that the value that the user types into the customer ID field does not exist in that database, and now we can type in our custom error message. So let's pause now and pick this up in the next video.